Trump's rhetoric with Russia is escalating severely. And he even is bringing up the nuclear word, because we did soundbite this and then realized it's almost never appropriate to use. Let me just use it here before you do, Cole. Trump at rallies would always go, oh, nuclear, that's, and then
the N-word.
Yeah. He would always go, the N-word, nuclear. So now we got to use it. Check. Cole just, there's a time where it's like, should I have used it there? And I'm like, it's almost, almost never appropriate is maybe my thought. But that actually is what he references. Okay. So let me get to Medvedev, who is throwing threats at Trump, and then Trump's announcement that nuclear submarines are going to be moving to strategic regions in response to what Russia's been saying. But first, this kind of all started with Trump finally becoming upset with Putin continuing his war against Ukraine. Finally. And he put this 50-day deadline, and then he backed it up and said, actually, it'll just be like 10.
Going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today. There's no reason in waiting. There's no reason in waiting. It's 50 days. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made.
Yeah, and there is not. So then in response, Dmitry Medvedev, who is the deputy chair of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, said Trump issued a theoretical ultimatum to the Kremlin. The world shuddered, expecting the consequences. Belligerent Europe was disappointed. Russia didn't care. And then the one that really set off Trump, for understandable reasons, said Trump's playing the ultimate game with Russia. 50 days or 10, he should remember two things. Russia isn't Israel or even Iran. Each new ultimatum is a threat and a step towards war. Not between Russia and Ukraine, but with his own country. Don't go down the Sleepy Joe road. To which Joe said, keep me the frick out of this, okay? I love picturing Biden reading, like, what does he read? Probably printed out the New York Times. And he's flipping through, and he's like, what? I'm not even the press anymore. What the hell are they making fun of me for? And I think it's funny how Russia's been doing this, Trump, you better not say that, right? And Trump hasn't really escalated. And then it's being called Joe Biden that really sets him off. Like, they go, well, we have nuclear weapons. I'll remind you of what Russian state TV has been saying. And we could clear the U.S. off the map. And Trump's like, nah, all right. And then, and then all of a sudden they say, what are you, Sleepy Joe Biden? And Trump's like, send in the nukes. Angry. Send in the nukes, okay? pretty bonkers. So then Trump posted on Truth Social. Earlier, I'll show you the two. Before I show you, please, if you appreciate this show, if you're for Ukraine and against nuclear war, all right, then you have to buy this, the official drink of Ukraine. No, that's making light. I don't mean that, but Pep's great, family business, induce good things to your gut microbiome, and don't treat your body like anything other than a temple. Treat it like a temple because it is yours and it's the only one that you're going to have. And Pep gives you the energy boost you need without the consequences, the disgusting, poisonous consequences of so many other things. Drinkpep.com, order it directly to your doorstep. So Trump said, I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care. We have done very little business with India. Their tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. Likewise, Russia and the U.S. do almost no business together. Let's keep it that way. And tell Medvedev, the failed former president of Russia who thinks he's still the president, to watch his words. He's entering very dangerous territory. By the way, okay, I don't need to pound on this too much, but just remember that Trump is right now, years into this conflict, realizing what we've been telling him for those years, okay? So now he's doing the tough talk and all that, but he's going, oh, Russia is not interested in being cooperative on the global community. They're not interested in the sovereignty of the surrounding countries, and Putin doesn't want peace no matter how many times Trump wrongly stated that. And he is finally coming to that conclusion, kind of. But in typical Trump fashion, instead of just being very serious about approaching this, giving a bunch of aid to Ukraine and every economic measure you can do to harm Russia, instead he's doing this performative, I'm sending in the nukes type of thing. He said, based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important. Oh, bro. I agree with Medvedev. He's crazy. I've been criticizing Medvedev before you knew who Medvedev was, okay? But you said the primary defense of you by your supporters is, nah, I didn't really mean that. That's the primary defense. I think you could be a little bit soft on the words are very important. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So he's saying in case the nuclear threats aren't just nuclear threats and they're going to manifest into action, then he's sending in our nuclear submarines, which is obviously a scary situation, an escalatory situation. And to give you some context of the building tension in Russia at Trump, as Trump has naively taken forever to realize the truth about this conflict and how Putin is not interested in peace, let me take you back to a little bit of a segment we did where a Russian state TV pundit was yelling in response to that leaked audio of Trump telling a story about how he told Putin, if you invade Ukraine, I'm going to bomb the shit out of Beijing, is the wording. And this was the reaction from Russia. Here's, this guy's name is Vladimir, so many Vladimirs, Solovyov. Let's hear what Vladimir Solovyov thinks.
У меня такой простой вопрос. А насколько процентов...
Oh, I have to translate. Everyone wait here a second. Okay. I have a simple question. How many percent would Trump believe that we will erase the hell out of America? With what percentage would Trump believe that 2 Poseidon nuclear-powered underwater systems coming from 2 different sides of the North American continent will cause the formation of a radioactive tsunami that will create a strait named after Comrade Stalin? Y'all still hot on Stalin? Stalin? You remember when Trump said, Robert E. Lee, no longer in favor. You ever notice that? No longer in favor. Y'all never noticed Stalin no longer in favor? Okay. Comrade Stalin. How will Comrade Trump understand and believe when he realizes that our submarines of a certain class are armed with weapons that are powerful enough for any protective element that is yet to be built? That sounded aggressive. Yes, shit me. I don't know what you just said. That might have just been the word built, but whoa. Slavyov. That's chill. Okay? That's a slur. Hey, I don't want to like make light of war, but in the interest of the fact that we try to make light of almost everything here, you aren't even winning against Ukraine. Like, I think Trump going, bomb the shit is crazy. And clearly his genius threat making doesn't work because he couldn't get Putin to stop invading Ukraine. But maybe we just take a breath, Slavyov. You thought you were going to trot your way through all of Ukraine in a few weeks, and you've now been at it for years with little progress. So you can just chill on the whole, we have stuff that you could never, I'm sure you could nuke, but really you're going to nuke us? I mean, I guess we bombed you, but we're not going to do that. Trump's just chest pounding. Okay. The Golden Dome, the Diamond Dome, or the Shit Dome. Designed to protect America from retaliatory strike? Does he seriously think that as soon as he sends ballistic missiles or his freaking B-2s that are visible to us? And we will strike our territory, and we'll try to strike our territory, we will just sit here and say, oi, look, no, we will freaking erase you off the face of the earth. If you think our Supreme Commander-in-Chief was joking when he said
в котором нет России.
Who needs the world if Russia isn't in it?
Это было так,
Or do you think it was just a figure of
когда
speech
было сказано, что
when it was said that a retaliatory strike means
что мы в
that
раю,
we're going
сразу
to heaven,
тухнете.
but you will croak?
Вы вообще
Have you gone nuts?
Вы что?
Well, yes. Trump has gone nuts. He is nuts. But for whatever nuts he is, you got even more, bruh. Slavyov. Okay? You got more nuts than Trump. That's my argument. In a bad way, though.
Вы вообще
Have you gone nuts?
Вы что о себе
Who do you think you are?
Ну так реально.
No, really, Americans, who do you think you are?
Вы вообще чуть-чуть в чувство
Come back to your
всех
senses,
приведите.
animals.
Мы что, не понимаем, что нам не...
Do we realize that we should carefully look at... Okay.
Посмотри.
All right, I got it, Slavyov. You're angry. And obviously, yeah, I don't know what Trump means by bombed. I don't think if we just dropped like a bomb on a military facility, then they should unleash their nuclear arsenal on us. But if we nuked them, they're going to nuke us. So that's why we don't do the nukey stuff. That's kind of my rule. Lukey says no nuki. That's my rule. I've said that forever. Sorry. But there's something interesting. It's like what we talked about yesterday with Putin going, or the Kremlin folks going, hey, Trump, release the Epstein files. And it's sort of like, well, Trump's terrible, but y'all are so terrible. Shut up. So similarly here, it's like, yeah, Trump's crazy when he's saying that. And clearly that didn't work, which is terrible. But also, gosh, you're on my nerves, Slavyov. I don't even, you know what? This might hurt his feelings. I don't really like you, Vladimir Slavyov. Okay. There we go. I forgot that was where the no nuke thing came from. We do have a t-shirt that's called that. And people are buying it. It's the funniest thing. So yeah, I had much more joy in my eyes that day, you could tell, which is always fun. But so that was building tension, and then you saw it in the official ranks of the Russian government. Yeah, there's the shirt. Look at that. Lukey says no nuki. We did learn about the other meaning of that word, and it's like a little bit strange, but we spelled it differently. It's fine. Shut up. Get the shirt. Enjoy your life. Subscribe to the channel. I don't know why that connects, but I just thought of it right now. And now we're here where Trump is saying, he didn't name in his post where specifically, but strategic regions we're sending our nuclear submarines. So that's scary, to say the least.